Who would have imagined that a 78-year-old would be standing here today, ready to dive into a topic as intimate and personal as this one? Times certainly have changed. Years ago, conversations like this were locked away, hidden behind closed doors. Sexuality, especially topics related to pleasure, were rarely discussed openly. It was seen as something too private, almost taboo. But here we are, in a time where we can talk about these things more freely, without shame, without stigma, but always with respect. And that's the beauty of the world we live in today. We're finally able to embrace discussions that once made us uncomfortable. We can continue to learn about our bodies, no matter how old we are, because understanding ourselves is something that should never stop. As we age, we find that curiosity about our health grows stronger, and our desire to live well becomes more focused. It's not just about what we learned when we were young, but what we're learning now. And one of the questions that often comes up is how our sexual health affects us as we get older. We start to wonder, is there more to this than just fleeting pleasure? How does something like ejaculation impact our body, our mind, our overall well-being? It's a question many are asking, regardless of age. But the truth is, most people don't fully understand the effects this natural act has on their health, both physically and emotionally. There's no denying that this topic sparks a lot of interest. For some, it's a source of curiosity. For others, it brings up old myths and fears that have been passed down through generations. Many of us grew up hearing stories about how men had to conserve their energy, that overindulgence could lead to weakness or even illness. There was this belief that too much sexual activity could somehow deplete a man's vitality. And while those ideas may seem outdated now, they were once deeply ingrained in how people thought about their bodies. But science has come a long way, and we now know that the body is far more complex and capable than those old beliefs suggested. In fact, research is showing us that ejaculation plays a role in far more than just pleasure. It impacts various aspects of health, including mental well-being, emotional balance, and even longevity. There are studies exploring how regular ejaculation may help reduce stress, improve mood, and even protect against certain health conditions. But on the flip side, there's also a growing interest in understanding how abstaining from ejaculation can affect the body. Some claim it boosts energy, enhances focus, and even supports overall vitality. So the real question is, what's the balance? How does this all fit into a healthy life, especially as we age? So, let's embrace this conversation, let's learn together, and most importantly, let's take care of our bodies in ways that make us feel strong, balanced, and whole. When we think about men's health, there's one small gland that often doesn't get much attention. Yet, its role is more significant than most of us realize. We're talking about something that's not just involved in daily biological functions, but connected to overall long-term well-being. One big question is, can frequent physical activity in this regard contribute to better health? Interestingly, scientists have explored this question and come up with some compelling answers. Studies suggest that staying regularly active in this area might offer surprising benefits. It's not just about momentary satisfaction. There seems to be a deeper, long-term impact on keeping this small gland healthy. But how does it actually work? To understand, we need to look at the role this gland plays in fluid production. This fluid is essential for certain natural processes, and when physical activity occurs regularly, it helps ensure the fluid is produced and expelled frequently, preventing any kind of buildup. Imagine what could happen if this activity were reduced for a long period. Research hints that a lack of regular activity may not be beneficial and could even lead to certain issues. More recent studies have shed light on the connection between how frequently this activity happens and the risk of developing problems, particularly those that could worsen over time. In fact, some research suggests that men who are more physically active in this specific way each month may be safeguarding themselves against future health concerns. Studies have shown that engaging in this activity over 21 times per month can significantly reduce the risk of certain conditions that affect this small but important gland. The idea is that regular activity helps maintain the flow of fluids, preventing potentially harmful substances from building up. This frequent movement may also reduce the risk of inflammation, which is often linked to long-term health issues. Keeping the system in motion helps keep things clear. And by doing so, it might lower the chances of inflammation and other conditions that could lead to more serious concerns down the road. What makes this even more interesting is that the protective benefits have been noticed across several different studies. Men who maintained higher levels of activity were consistently found to have a lower risk of serious health problems compared to those who were less active in this area. This regular practice appears to play a role in preventing some of the issues that can arise with this gland over time. But there's more to consider. It's not only about the frequency, but also about the broader impact on overall well-being. Regular physical activity seems to keep the body's systems functioning smoothly, preventing stagnation and ensuring that everything continues to work as it should. This, in turn, might contribute to better health in the long run. Let us share another story, this time about our friend Luke. Luke was in his early 50s, a man who had always prided himself on staying active. He had a successful career, a loving family, and enjoyed his morning runs and weekend hikes. On the outside, Luke seemed to have it all together. But like many of us, he had certain blind spots when it came to his health. He never really thought much about the importance of maintaining certain aspects of his well-being, particularly those that he didn't see or feel every day. One afternoon, Luke was sitting with his longtime friend Paul discussing life over coffee. Paul had recently read an article about the importance of male health, particularly how it connected to aging. It touched on a topic that Luke had rarely considered: a small but essential gland that plays a role in men's overall health. Paul mentioned how regular activity in this area could be crucial for long-term wellness, and this caught Luke's attention. Luke was a curious person by nature, and after their conversation, he decided to look into it. What he found surprised him. There were numerous studies suggesting that men who maintained a regular routine of certain activities could significantly reduce their risk of developing serious issues, especially as they aged. Luke was always one to take preventative measures when it came to his physical fitness, so this discovery made him think twice about how he had been neglecting this aspect of his health. At his next doctor's visit, Luke brought up what he had learned. His doctor confirmed the connection and explained it in more detail. Regular activity in this area, he said, helps maintain the flow of fluids through this small gland, which is important for keeping it healthy. If this activity is neglected, harmful substances could accumulate over time, potentially leading to inflammation and more serious problems down the road. The doctor pointed out that men who engaged in this activity more frequently had been shown to lower their risk of developing issues later in life, including some serious conditions. Luke listened carefully, realizing he had been paying attention to all the obvious aspects of health, his diet, exercise, and mental well-being, but had overlooked something so essential. The doctor's advice made him rethink his routine. Luke wasn't the type to shy away from taking action, so he made a commitment to prioritize this overlooked area of his health. Over the next several months, Luke took steps to ensure that he was staying active in this regard, keeping the body's natural processes flowing as they should. He even spoke with his wife about it, and together, they made it a part of their regular conversations around health. What Luke noticed over time was not just physical changes, but a deeper sense of well-being. His energy levels were more consistent, and he felt more in tune with his body, as if everything was working more efficiently. As Luke embraced this new perspective on health, he began sharing his experience with others, particularly his friends who, like him, had always focused on the more obvious aspects of fitness and wellness. One of those friends, David, was a bit resistant at first. He was healthy, active, and didn't see the need to change anything. But after hearing Luke's story and the science behind it, David reconsidered. He decided to follow Luke's lead and make similar changes in his own life. A few years later, Luke and David found themselves reflecting on their choices. At a gathering with friends, the topic came up again, and they both shared how paying attention to this aspect of health had not only helped them feel better, but also gave them peace of mind. The small adjustments they had made had led to big changes in their overall well-being. Luke's story became a powerful reminder that health is not just about the things we see every day, like diet or exercise. It's also about paying attention to the smaller, often overlooked aspects that can make a big difference in the long run. His experience showed that by taking care of every part of ourselves, even the ones we don't think about often, we can lead healthier, more balanced lives. For Luke, this journey wasn't just about avoiding potential problems. It was about making sure that his entire body was functioning as it should. And by doing so, he had found a new level of health that he hadn't even realized he was missing. His story serves as a reminder to all of us that taking care of ourselves means looking at the bigger picture, and that sometimes the smallest details can have the biggest impact. Let's pause for a moment to think about our relationship with our own bodies. Have we ever stopped to truly consider how our sexuality impacts our health? And more importantly, have we asked ourselves what it means for our overall well-being? For many of us, this is a topic we haven't given much thought to until now. But as we age, we start to realize that every part of our health is interconnected. And sexuality, far from being just about pleasure, is an integral part of our overall health. Research reveals a notable connection between sexual frequency and prostate health. Regular ejaculation is believed to boost the production of helpful compounds that protect prostate cells. This finding suggests that sexual activity may not only bring pleasure, but also play a role in maintaining long-term health. It's an interesting perspective that links a natural process to something more vital, protecting the prostate as we age. Of course, health is multifaceted. It's not just about one habit, but a combination of several. Diet, physical exercise, and genetics are all key players in this equation. However, understanding how sexual activity might contribute to prostate health adds another layer of thought to the conversation. It opens up the possibility that our bodies are wired in ways that naturally support wellness through regular functions like ejaculation. Sexual release does more than provide emotional relief. It triggers the release of hormones such as oxytocin and prolactin, which create a sense of relaxation. Feeling calm and relaxed has a direct impact on overall health. When the body is free from tension, it tends to work in a more balanced and efficient manner. This is an important point because stress has a known negative effect on physical health. Sexual activity can act as a release valve, allowing the body to reset and function more smoothly. As we grow older, our bodies change, including our hormonal balance. Aging affects many areas of health, but keeping an active sex life may help preserve physical vitality. This doesn't mean going to extremes, but rather maintaining a natural rhythm that keeps the body engaged. It's part of a broader approach to healthy aging, where sexual health contributes to overall well-being. It's important to note that the ideal frequency of ejaculation is different for everyone. Some may feel better with more activity, while others prefer less. The key is to listen to the body and understand its signals. Each person has a unique balance, and maintaining that balance is what supports good health. Sexual health, while important, is only one part of a complex system of well-being. Now, let's consider an alternative approach: sexual energy retention. This involves intentionally avoiding ejaculation, either during intercourse or over a longer period. Some men practice this to conserve physical and mental energy, or to improve sexual performance. It raises an interesting question. Does holding back sexual release actually provide any real benefits, or is it just another trend? In a culture that often prioritizes immediate gratification, the idea of holding back may seem unusual. However, there are those who advocate for it, arguing that sexual energy retention leads to increased focus, strength, and mental clarity. Supporters of this practice claim that by preserving sexual energy, they feel more masculine and capable. But does science support these claims, or are they based on personal belief? While the idea has its supporters, scientific evidence remains limited. Most of the benefits associated with seminal retention are based on personal anecdotes rather than solid research. Some men report feeling more energized and mentally clear when they reduce the frequency of ejaculation. Others note less fatigue and a sustained sense of alertness. These experiences are intriguing, but they don't provide a conclusive answer. At this stage, it's clear that more research is needed to fully understand the physiological impact of sexual energy retention. What we do know is that sexual health varies from person to person. For some, limiting ejaculation may feel beneficial, while others might thrive with a more frequent routine. What's important is recognizing that there's no one-size-fits-all solution when it comes to sexual health. Ultimately, the goal is to find what works for each of us. Whether someone chooses a more frequent pattern or opts for retention, the focus should be on what feels right for the body. Sexual health, like every other aspect of well-being, is deeply personal. Listening to the body and following its natural rhythms is the best approach. 1. Incorporate pelvic floor exercises, Kegels. Frequency: practice daily for 5 to 10 minutes. Explanation: strengthening the pelvic floor muscles can enhance sexual performance and improve control over ejaculation. Kegel exercises help prevent erectile dysfunction and support urinary health, which is essential for prostate well-being. Over time, these exercises can improve bladder control and help reduce the risk of prostate-related urinary issues, especially in older men. 2. Prioritize healthy fats in your diet. Frequency: include healthy fats in every meal. Explanation: healthy fats, like those found in olive oil, avocados, and nuts, are important for hormone production, including testosterone. These fats support heart health and improve circulation, both of which are essential for sexual function. They also reduce inflammation, which can benefit the prostate. Avoid trans fats and processed oils, as they can lead to health issues and negatively affect sexual performance. 3. Reduce alcohol consumption frequency. Limit alcohol to 1 to 2 drinks per day, with alcohol-free days during the week. Explanation: excessive alcohol intake can lower testosterone levels, reduce sexual performance, and contribute to prostate inflammation. Cutting back on alcohol promotes better sleep, improves liver function, and keeps hormones balanced. Limiting alcohol can also enhance sexual desire and stamina, making it easier to maintain a healthy sex life. 4. Limit caffeine intake frequency. Keep caffeine consumption to 1 to 2 cups per day. Explanation: while caffeine can provide a short-term energy boost, too much can lead to increased anxiety, disrupted sleep, and a negative impact on sexual health. Caffeine overuse can raise stress hormone levels, which affects libido and performance. Reducing caffeine intake ensures better sleep and helps the body manage stress more effectively, improving both mental and sexual well-being. 5. Practice mindful breathing or meditation. Frequency: spend 10 to 15 minutes daily in mindfulness or meditation practice. Explanation: mindful breathing and meditation reduce stress and anxiety, helping to maintain a calm, focused mind. This can improve sexual performance and pleasure by keeping anxiety at bay and enhancing emotional connection. Mindfulness also supports overall mental health, leading to better hormone regulation and more balanced physical health, including sexual function. 6. Focus on magnesium-rich foods. Frequency: incorporate magnesium-rich foods into your diet daily. Explanation: magnesium is essential for muscle relaxation, nerve function, and hormone balance. It supports healthy testosterone levels and improves overall sexual performance. Foods like leafy greens, nuts, seeds, and whole grains are great sources of magnesium. A diet rich in magnesium helps reduce stress, improves sleep quality, and supports prostate health by reducing inflammation. 7. Monitor your weight frequency. Regularly check your weight and aim for a healthy BMI. Explanation: maintaining a healthy weight is crucial for sexual health and prostate well-being. Excess weight, especially abdominal fat, can lead to reduced testosterone levels, increased estrogen, and inflammation in the prostate. Being overweight also contributes to erectile dysfunction and decreases energy levels. Regular exercise and a balanced diet can help maintain a healthy weight, boosting both sexual health and overall vitality. Number 8. Include more zinc in your diet. Frequency: consume zinc-rich foods regularly or take a supplement if needed. Explanation: zinc plays a vital role in testosterone production and prostate health. It's also important for sperm production and maintaining a healthy immune system. Foods like oysters, pumpkin seeds, and legumes are great sources of zinc. Zinc helps to maintain proper hormonal balance, supports prostate function, and can improve overall sexual health. If zinc levels are low, a supplement may be beneficial. 9. Quit smoking or avoid secondhand smoke. Frequency: eliminate smoking entirely or minimize exposure to secondhand smoke. Explanation: smoking negatively affects circulation, reduces libido, and can lead to erectile dysfunction. It also increases the risk of prostate cancer and other serious health problems. Quitting smoking or reducing exposure to secondhand smoke can significantly improve sexual performance, boost energy levels, and protect prostate health by promoting better blood flow and reducing inflammation. 10. Stay sexually active in moderation. Frequency: engage in sexual activity according to personal comfort, ideally 1 to 3 times per week. Explanation: staying sexually active can help maintain a healthy libido, improve mood, and support prostate health by reducing congestion in the prostate gland. However, it's important not to overdo it, as excessive activity may lead to fatigue or hormonal imbalances. Moderation allows the body to enjoy the benefits of sexual activity without overtaxing it, keeping energy levels steady and ensuring long-term well-being. This conversation is an important one, not just for the youngs, but for all of us. Sexual health doesn't have an expiration date. Whether we're 20 or 78, understanding our bodies and how they function is key to living a fulfilling life. And that's why we need to talk about these things openly. There's no shame in wanting to know more. No embarrassment in seeking answers. In fact, it's empowering to have these discussions, to learn, and to grow in our understanding of what it means to live a healthy, balanced life. Some doctors suggest that holding semen for too long can lead to physical discomfort, buildup of tension, and even involuntary release during sleep, known as nocturnal emissions. This is a natural way for the body to regulate itself, expelling what is unnecessary. For many, the body balances on its own without the need for intentional retention. Therefore, forcing retention may go against the body's natural rhythms. On the emotional side, retention can give some men a feeling of control, a sense of empowerment. For others, it can cause frustration, anxiety, and heightened tension. This is where the challenge comes in. If the goal is to improve well-being, it's important to question whether a practice that increases stress and unease is truly beneficial. Well-being should always be the focus. Yet, despite these concerns, seminal retention remains a subject of curiosity for many. Some view it as a form of cleansing, freeing themselves from societal pressures surrounding sexual activity. Others believe it can enhance their overall vitality and help them better manage their impulses and emotions over time. The important thing is for each person to understand their own body and recognize what works best for them. There is no universal approach to this. For some, practicing retention brings a sense of clarity and revitalization. For others, regular release helps maintain physical and mental balance. The key lies in knowing your own boundaries and not forcing yourself into something that doesn't align with your natural state. This is not a one-size-fits-all issue. Each individual must learn to listen to their body and find what feels most natural and harmonious. For some men, this practice becomes a personal exploration of self-discipline and emotional resilience. Yet, for others, it may feel like a battle against their natural instincts, which could lead to unwanted stress. The body is constantly communicating its needs, and whether it signals the need for release or the benefit of retention, this dialogue should be respected. The key is balance. Pushing the body beyond its limits, even in the name of self-control, can create more harm than good. Everyone's experience is unique. What empowers one person may overwhelm another. It's essential to avoid comparing yourself to others or feeling pressured to adopt a practice that doesn't suit your body or mind. Each journey is personal. We should approach this with flexibility, recognizing when it's helpful and when it becomes a source of tension. The focus should always be on maintaining peace and well-being. Forcing the body into a practice that disrupts this balance can be counterproductive. Some of you might be wondering, is it really necessary to talk about release in this much detail? And the answer is yes, because it's about so much more than the act itself. It's about understanding how our bodies work, how our health is affected, and how we can make choices that benefit us in the long term. Whether we're talking about regular climax or periods of abstinence, these are things that can influence not just our physical health, but our mental and emotional well-being too. We've discussed both sides of the coin, frequency and retention. Now, it's time to delve into one of the most intricate and essential aspects of sexual health, the balance between body and mind. This is where complexity meets necessity. What works for the body doesn't always sync with the needs of the mind, and vice versa. When we talk about ejaculation, this balance becomes even more delicate. In the realm of sexual health, especially regarding this habit frequency, the relationship between body and mind is crucial. It helps relieve stress, improves prostate health, and leads to deeper, more restful sleep. The immune system gets a boost, mood lifts, thanks to the release of hormones like oxytocin and prolactin, which flood us with a sense of relaxation and contentment. Yet, there's always the other side. Too much ejaculation can cause physical fatigue. Testosterone levels might dip for a time. Emotional exhaustion can settle in, affecting both our mood and motivation. Then there's the idea of seminal retention, the practice of holding back ejaculation for longer periods. Some believe this leads to increased physical energy, sharper mental clarity, and greater emotional control. Approach this topic with curiosity and an open mind. Let's leave behind the old myths and taboos and instead focus on what science is telling us. Our bodies are incredibly smart, and they're constantly adapting to the choices we make. By understanding how something as natural as ejaculation affects our health, we can make informed decisions that help us live better, healthier lives. We've all heard stories from the past about how men worried about their sexual energy, how they feared it could be wasted or lost. But today, we know better. We're learning that sexuality is not just about indulgence or restraint. It's about balance and how we take care of ourselves in every aspect of life. So, Whether you're someone who has thought about this topic for years, or someone who's hearing these ideas for the first time, now is the time to explore it together, without fear or hesitation. However, retention isn't without its challenges. It can breed frustration, create tension, and cause physical discomfort. Whether it's nocturnal emissions or testicular discomfort, the body often speaks when it feels restrained. In the end, both frequent ejaculation and prolonged retention have their benefits and their drawbacks. The key is in finding what works best for us individually. The most important point: learn your body's rhythm. Every person has their own unique balance. What works for one won't necessarily work for another. The secret lies in listening closely to our bodies. Our bodies will always signal when something is off. We just need to pay attention, and through that we can find the right balance for our sexual and emotional well-being. Now here's the bigger question. Have we ever truly noticed how our body responds in different situations? Do we see the way it reacts to changes in frequency or retention? When we pause and observe, answers start to emerge. This is about aligning our choices with what feels right for us, not what society dictates. We should live with wisdom. Whatever choices we make, let them come from a place of love and self-respect. Let them serve us, not others' expectations. The years have taught us that no two journeys are the same. What matters most is how in tune we are with our own health and happiness. If this resonates, if you find yourself intrigued, then keep exploring. This is just the beginning of a much larger conversation. There's a vast world of knowledge and understanding to dive into. Don't hold back. Share these thoughts, ideas, and experiences with those around you. By spreading awareness, we can help others too. If this conversation has sparked your interest, give it a like. Help us expand this discussion to reach even more people. Subscribe and stay connected, because there's always more to learn. We'd love to hear from you too. What do you think? How does your experience fit into this discussion? Share your thoughts in the comments and let us know where you're tuning in from. Every perspective adds value. Thank you, and see you in the next video.